Alrighty, Doc here from North America. It is TGIM. Hello, Robin. Hello, Janos. And there is, what do we got up there? There's the beta dollar index. You see it's in a buy for the last few days. Kind of surprising, but it is. And you can see at the same time, it's been in that weekly sell. So it's basically telling you it's just a slow, steady bounce. Nothing major, nothing to be too excited about. Let me just check the sound here. I'm going to check the sound. There it is, right there. There's the sound. Sounds good. So we're all good here. So in the end result is that we got some economic news that kicks out tomorrow and Tuesday. I'm sorry, tomorrow is Tuesday. Tuesday and Wednesday. And we'll be watching to see how they treat the numbers. I'm sure it'll be very interesting. They're inflation numbers, so obviously, that the markets will be, it's CPI and PPI. What else we got brewing on here? Let's see. Over the weekend, the news is relatively quiet. Iran, here in America, we hear every day that it's an imminent attack by Iran on Israel. Every day they say it. That it could be in this afternoon. It could be tonight. It could be tomorrow. It could be 2,000 years from now. It can be happening any moment or any time, anywhere. And it's kind of irritating, but at the same time, I keep on seeing crude oil. You can see on a spreadsheet. Let me show you the spreadsheet. I'll highlight it right here. There it is right there. We got 4 weeks in a sell and 3 days in a buy. And then when we zip-diddy-doo-dah over to, let's try that one more time. When we zip-diddy-doo-dah over to the oil contract, where is the oil contract? Right there. You can see it's been climbing for the last couple of days, but again, we're in that weekly sell here. You see that constant weekly sell going on. So, it's the short term, they're definitely reaching for it because they think, there's going to be some type of explosion somewhere. And besides Maryland, outside of Washington, D.C., the state next to it, the house blew up. And they called it a gas leak. It sounds like one of those alien things, where everything's a gas leak, The house was leveled. Neighbors running for their lives. But, it was a gas leak. 1 dead, 2 injured. But it does have that alien feel to it or terrorist feel to it. But anyway, there it is right there. You can see we've been in a weekly sell now since back in here somewhere. What is that date? Right there, that is... Where is that? That is the July last. It's like July 17th or something like that back in here. So we went into the weekly sell back in here, and we've glided down, and now we're doing a cute little meow meow bounce. That dead cat bounce, and you can see the strength there. This is going on a 4th day now. That's today live right there. So. Why did I say 7? There it is, 12th. See that? It's the 12th. And not much more than there. Oh, heard people talking about the Federal Reserve. I loved that last week's title I had. Where the Federal, let me go find that title. I thought it was really fun. The Federal Reserve seems to be, moving slow and steadily to nowhere. At least that's where my head's at. That's where I think it's at. But let me look at the title I put in there. It was a really good title. I liked it. The title last week was Fed's Addiction to Markets. Yeah, it's like the cat that likes to play with the mouse. The cat is the Federal Reserve. We're back to the cat again, too. I like that. And at the same time, the population and the users of currency and everything else are the mice. And the cat just keeps on playing with us. And the discussion this morning was on one of the financial channels what was it? How Mr. Trump may interfere with the Fed, but the Democratic administrations who have been involved never play with the Fed. That's why when we were saying they needed to raise interest rates for a quarter point and half a point and 3/4 of a point and needed to raise them up to like 5.5% and 6% and 7%, we were at zero. We were sitting at zero because Mrs. Yellen, Mr. Biden, and the Federal Reserve kept on saying, it's transitory, don't worry about it. And I keep on saying, yeah, interest rates are transitory, but not inflation. And so no one cared. But somehow or another, Mr. Trump saying if they don't do the right things, that's bad. So in other words, the Democrats, as far as they're concerned, it doesn't have to do the right things. As long as they just follow what they tell them to do. And that seems to be it. And it's like the cat playing with the mouse. That's what the Federal Reserve is at this point. It's a drug dealer, and it wants to keep on selling its drugs, and they don't really care about anything else but selling more of their drugs. And that's what they are. And the population are the drug addicts. They want zero interest rates, which is ridiculous. It's that. No wonder we have so much inflation going across the planet. Why? All the major nations, in the OECD are like. I saw a headline yesterday too. I saw it Saturday also. The headline said that the OECD countries, they're like something like a majority of them are not growing. Well, when you live by zero interest rates, is there anything more to be said? It's obvious, but it's that constant fake out by the media trying to tell us all kinds of absurd stories. But they do it. They like to do it. That's who they are. And anybody who pays attention to them obviously is not listening to Doc, that's for sure. All right, let's get over to... Let's take a look at... We're going to mosey on to... Let me say this about that. And there it is. The euro. The magnificent euro right there. You can see it on the screen. No, you can't see it on the screen. There's the magnificent euro right there. It slid into the sell on Thursday. Last night, I think they're showing us last night trades. I don't know why. I think that's last night's trades right there. What is that? No, that's the 9th. Okay, so it's been in the sell for 2 days. What's the spreadsheet say? That's a good way of checking it. Spreadsheet right there. Yes, 2 days in the sell. We're on is it almost a third? No, it's trying to battle its way back in, but we're a green and a red. We still haven't fixed the dots yet on the beta, but don't worry about that. The whole idea is really to just be able to see the weekly and the daily more than anything else. Let's see. So the euro kind of trapped, going nowhere slowly. It doesn't seem to, it's, hey, at least it's hanging. Well, you can see the weekly. See that weekly down in here? It's actually flirting with a weekly sell, whereas the Commonwealth's Great British Pound has slid into the weekly sell. It's like, what? Why is the dollar being bought again? Flight to safety? More buyers and sellers? Potential interest rate drops? What is it? It's not really clear on any of those corners there. No. Let's see, where else are we? So, there's Janos. What about stocks? Any change over the weekend? No, let's go take a look and see. One thing I did notice, here is the S&P 500. We'll take a look at the three major indexes. We can look at all four of them, actually. We're going to take a quick look at the stock indices. You can see here, it jumped into a buy 3 days ago. It's still in a buy today. And you can see right here, it's still in a weekly sell. So they're having a hard time turning it. Now, this is going to be interesting, is that the Tech 100 is pretty much the same way. Let's see, where's it at? Tech 100. right there. There you go. Doing the same thing. 3 days in a buy. Today is the third day. But notice the weekly is still trying to go into the fifth week. Same on the S&Ps. You just go back and double check the S&Ps. Yeah. Same, in this case here, the S&Ps are 3 weeks in a sell. Now going on a fourth. The Tech 100 is 4 weeks in a sell. Going on a fifth. Yeah, so there's 2, there's 4, there's 5. 5 weeks in a sell. Let's just double check that on the spreadsheet. Yeah, see, that's 4 weeks in a sell going on 5. So those 2 are not. Now, let's show you something a tad more interesting. We'll go over to the grand lady of them all. That is the Dow Jones Industrial Average. And look at that. It climbed into it went into the sell the week before during that panic. Let's just do that. Like that. There it is. There we are. So we went into the sell, and then we're back into the buy. The grand lady's back into the buy. Went into the buy last Friday. So we don't have it on the spreadsheet. There. There we go. So, basically right there, you can see that the Dow Jones Industrial Average is trying to lift. Looking firm this morning, not too bad. In a daily buy right there. Let's put that in there too. And then we'll go take a look at the Russell. Because, let's see, right there. Let's see, file save. All right, now let's go take a look at the Russell 2000, the most, weakest of the stock indices when it comes to the caliber of them. There it is right there. It took a nice nosedive there. Right there. Bang, 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 bang. And it's doing a nice little bounce up. Did not get into the weekly buy yet. I think that if we see this thing get back into the weekly buy, which it doesn't look at the moment, but if it does, then I think we'll start to see a turn in the equity markets. A lot more than what we're seeing so far. And then I think, when we go over and look at the ETFs, in other words, the stock indices, which are the same as the futures except for they trade less hours. Whoa. Let's do that again. Let's go over and take a look at those, like so. You can see here is SPY, and you can see I thought we had it all set up. Oh, there it is right there. See? It's just hanging out right where it left off. That's last Friday, or 2 Fridays ago. There's last Friday, right there. There's last Friday. So they've brought it back to last Friday's price target area. Same thing with QQQ. Yeah, and it's trying to get into the buy today. And it went into that buy on Tuesday, and then it went back into the sell, and then now it's trying to get into the buy again. So the tech is not exactly taking off. Now we can slide over to, let's take a look on the beta. Where's NVDA? That's like the King Tech 100. There it is right there. You see it's pushing down a little bit Friday. It's still in the weekly sell there. Let's put it up on the live screen. Live, not Memorex, but live. Yeah, so the only real change is the Dow Jones Industrial Average seems to be a lot happier than it was before. That's the good thing. Right there. NVDA. And you can see here it is trying to climb into the buy on a daily right there. Oh, you can't see that. You cannot see that. There, now you can see it right there. It's trying to climb into the buy. You see it right there. That's today's action. The fast has moved through the zero line, but the slow has not. It'll be interesting to see how they play with that one. So, and, you know, this is usually the slow time of the year. This is like the last week of slow, but it has not been slow this year. You know, it's been action, ACTION. That's probably why the Bank of Japan probably tried to unwind its $20 trillion swap, because they figured, oh, no one's around, no one will pay attention. But oops, everybody paid attention. They had a Black Monday last Monday. Black Monday. Whew. And everybody cried. We talked about that. Everybody was crying, especially that Jeremy Siegel from Wharton Business School. He was really crying. Oh, they need to lower rates 75% now and 75% in September, and they got to do it. They got to let everybody know. It's like, oh, please. Where are the adults? Where are the professional traders? You know, they go to these people on the financial channels and talk to them thinking that they have the perfect answer. And the moment the markets even remotely look a little volatile or get volatile, they roll over like a puppy begging to have their belly rubbed. They have no sincerity, or they have no was it when you're totally irresponsible? They're totally irresponsible. Yeah, please lower the interest rates like 3/4 of a point now. We need it. We need it. They've got to do it now. I mean, that was what they were saying on the channels that day. Begging the Federal Reserve. At the same time, that same media says, oh, no, people should not interfere with the Federal Reserve. Only if they're registered Democrats in the political party, then it's okay. They can interfere. But if it's any other citizen in America that's registered to another party, forget it. You know, it's like walk the plank. All right, so there is that's MVDA. And, you know, what was interesting, let's go over to the spreadsheet and look at MVDA. And then also look at the Apple. Like you can see right there, there's the MVDA. It's 4 weeks in a sell, 3 days in a daily sell, and trying to get into the buy today. Whereas Apple, right there, Apple found its way into the weekly buy last week. So let's put that up on the screen. We all scream for ice cream. And there is Apple Dapple. We're going to put the Apple Dapple on the beta, like so. There it is right there, lifting up nice and strong on Friday. You know, it's showing a bunch more days. No, is it? Yeah, because of the dots and all. It's you know, like four. I'm not sure what's going on there, but that is showing us a buy too. Let's go check this out. Is it so? Is it so? Let's double check that over here. Let's go over to the live action. Where are you? Bum 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 bum. Open sesame. Do 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 do. Do do do. Make it like this. Close that out. Yes. And there is Apple Dapple. Right there. Went into the buy 5 days back. Yes, it did. For 2 days it was in a buy, then it went into the sell on this, and then it stayed in the sell there, and now we're climbing back into the buy on, was that Friday? No, that's today, isn't it? That's today. It's trying to climb back into the buy. What do I have on here? I think I have to double check that. Yeah, see, I have it as 5 days in a daily buy, especially when you go over to the beta, we see the same thing. That's why I'm trusting the beta more now, because it's, you know, until we straighten out those dots. But I'm trusting the beta way more at this point. It's reading our math even better, and obviously the one who expanded on my math, has written this code compared to the other code. So he really has a grip on the mathematics, so I'm not complaining whatsoever. It's much more trustworthy. We'll go straighten out the dots pretty soon. But overall, you can see there too. Last week it closed in a daily buy, and it's the same there, right there. And that's. Oh, you know what I showed you? I showed you Tesla. I didn't show you Apple. There's Apple. There we go. That's better now. That's why it doesn't make sense on the screen. So it went into the buy 5 days ago, and now it is. Let's grab that. We'll go like this. Move that over. And it closed in a weekly. Closed in a weekly buy right there. And so this, it's doing its best. Is that it right there? This should be moved over like that. There we are. That is the 9th also. It's not showing us what they're doing this morning. So we'll see what they're doing this morning. What are they doing this morning? Let's take a look and see what Apple is doing this morning. Apple Dapple. Apple is up 78 cents, so it's up a little bit more today. That's what it is. So it's going on a 6th day of a daily buy ever since the big sell-off. That's better now. I was wondering I was looking at that screen there. No wonder it didn't match up. Strange that Apple is the one with the buys. Yeah. Well, they are still, full of cash. They are a major telephone, cell phone producer. And at the same time, they have a very good home computer. So there's a lot of positiveness there. Might be the first one confirming a surge. I don't know about a surge, but there's definitely more buyers and sellers at the moment. It hasn't gotten to. Well, you can see here. Let's do this, like we did with the S&P 500. It didn't get up to. Let's widen this out for you too, and then move it over so you can see it better. It hasn't taken out the Friday close right there. Is that the Friday close? Yeah, that's the Friday close. That is the Monday open. And then you go over to here. What was the other ones? Let's look at MVDA. Well, there's Meta. Now, Meta did pierce. There's last Friday's close. 2 Fridays back. Same thing there. There's a Thursday. So it's up and beyond. It's doing the same thing. It's 5 days in a buy, isn't it? Meta. Yeah, 4 days in a buy there. 1, 2. Let's just double check that. Is it 4 days or 5? Did it just miss it? No, it got into the buy. So it's a 5 day. It's like Apple. It's 5 days in a buy. And you can see here BABA is. I thought was curious is Amazon, where they sold Amazon down. But then I think we saw Google. Google is 1 day in a buy, 3 weeks in a sell. So that's what's interesting is Amazon and Google. Here's Amazon right there. And I think that's today now too. It's lifting up. Yeah, that's today. And so you can see Amazon's trying to lift up after a couple days in a sell. It's still in a weekly sell though. Not getting through there this morning. And let's look at that Google. And that's in the same situation. It's up again today by a little bit, and it's it closed on Friday in a daily buy, and it bottomed out on that Monday too. See, they were in there on that Monday buying. I said about I didn't declare V bottom, but I said it will be like a V bottom because I believe that they're going to try to lift them up a little bit in here. Right from that day. Yeah, I mean, look, the Federal Reserve, what's amazing is that you have all these talking heads and these people like Wharton and so forth crying to the Fed. But the Fed knows. They know what the whole transactions are live. In other words, they see the pressure on the Bank of Japan having cash. why stocks were liquidated hard. In other words, they see that. They understand it instantly. For these talking heads to act like the Federal Reserve doesn't see it is absurd. The only reason the Fed doesn't act correctly, it has bad policies. Why the media just won't admit it, like quantitative easing started a couple weeks before Obama won the election, because he was like, the whole thing started falling apart as Obama was winning the election. And, and it's been going on since 2008, at the end of, the fourth quarter of 2008, right there in the election situation. And it's not stopped. During Trump years, they tried to cut back. They called QT, quantitative tightening. They were starting to, let's see, and why these people, hide all the time. They just hide it, just constantly. And it doesn't stop. And we just keep on getting pounded by, their outlandish statements. And unfortunately, Jeremy Siegel, is one of those talking heads that was whining, and I heard Stovall was doing the same thing. It's like, well, they better have it in their back pocket. They better be ready, like as if the Fed really needs that type of advice. They don't need that type of advice. They're following what the government tells them to do. I mean, Mrs. Yellen and Mr. Biden, I don't know if Kamala actually understands the Federal Reserve to be able to say what she is or isn't doing with it, but they just do what the government tells them to do. And, so that's why when inflation was climbing and Doc here was screaming about it, they, 6 months into it, 9 months into it, a year and a quarter into it, and we're like, they're not raising rates. They're still stuck. They refuse to raise rates, because Mr. Biden told them, don't raise rates on me. But then when inflation got to 9-10%, he had no choice. They had to raise rates, and he had to agree. And that's why he walks around telling everybody that it was 9% when he took office, when in fact it was 1.4%. Not even 2%. It was under 2%. So, people end up listening to these talking heads, and then I got a phone call this morning about it. And they're talking to me about what they're saying on these these shows, and it's like, not relevant. Stop talking about it. Stop paying attention to it. The numbers are not changing. The markets are not changing. Everything is the same. And generally, I am keeping this shorts on. Yeah. If they go into a weekly buy, then you just shift gears, turn them into binaries, and get rid of, and make the money back that way. But right now, they're in the weekly sell and daily buys. It's telling you to be neutral, and that's where it's at the moment. You could sell some puts against long puts, turn them into, bull bear spreads. In other words, you're buying the higher put, selling the lower put. It's a binary. So that's pretty much I guess you could say that's the whole story when it comes to, appreciating what's going on with the Federal Reserve, what is going on with the government, why they act the way they do, why these talking heads say the most outlandish things. And then, and you would think, geez, Doc is like, he's the real crazy boy. And all I do is talk about their policies. And their policies are made of mud. They're bad policies. They think they need to starve the population so that things will become cheap. In other words, basically kill us off. Instead, when inflation is because there's too few products out there. That's what it comes down to. Inflation is because there's less inventory out there. And so people are bidding it up. That's what inflation is. The Federal Reserve doesn't function that way. Instead, they try to shut down inventory. And this way, to a point where the inflation gets pushed down solely for only one reason. There's nobody able to afford to buy it anymore. It's like, it's bad government policy. It's bad financial policy. Let's see. They were opened last Monday. Okay, but I did. You bought shorts then? Okay. And in general, I am keeping the shorts on. Apple, Meta, Google, Tesla, and VDA. Well, did we take a look at them? I thought we did look at them, didn't we? There's Google. Google's up on there now, and it's in a weekly sell and a daily buy. It's more of a neutral position at this point. For Apple, it's bull, buy. That baby wants to run. What was the other ones? Meta's jumping into the weekly buy right there as we speak, and it's in the daily buy for 5 days. Let's see, what was the other one? NVDA. There's Tesla right there. Tesla, not really showing much. It really isn't. There is where's last Monday? Is that last Monday? That's last Monday. Yeah, that's last Monday right there. It didn't get in. It got into the buy on Tuesday. Stayed there Tuesday. Fell into the sell on Wednesday or Thursday. That is Thursday. Still in the sell from Friday, but at least it was showing some life in it. And now it's trying to climb into the buy today. And our weekly is not updating yet. We'll wait and see what that does. That'll be very, very soon. Matter of fact, let's see. Let's see if we can fix that. Let me do this. Let's cancel that. I want to see how we're reading it the other way around. Okay. Let's do this real quick. We're just going to put it in there for a few seconds, and then here we go. Here is the live Tesla weekly. It's not showing any real strength there at all. Still the same situation. Still down. And that NVDA, just does not know how to get out of its own way, basically. Where is that? Where is NVDA on this? Oh, okay. There we go. There it is right there. There's the NVDA. And it's not lifting up either. Now the fast is. That's the only one that's catching my eye, is that fast is breaking out. But we'll see. Just hang on there a little bit. Most of your shorts are in neutral positions at this point. But the weekly is in a weekly sell for most of them. So, wait and see if there's another opportunity to take a profit. And I guess you put them on when we went into daily buys. Yeah, it's a little tough to do that, but that's the way it rolls. To me, it's a neutral stance more. Let's see, where are we at this point? All right, so from there, I guess we'll go back to the currencies. We were looking at cable. Let's look at Swiss. There's Swiss, still climbing. A little surprising there. Daily buy. Weekly is still in a weekly sell, though. So this could be, a couple more days before they start to do anything in the reverse. Yen lifting up a little bit, but it's in the 40s at this point, coming down from that 62 area since the unwinding of the $20 trillion, which sounds like it's only down to about $5 or $6 trillion now. It sounds like the Japanese have really unwound that big position. Poor Deutsche Bank and Citibank are having hard times unwinding their swaps. For the last 16 years. Is it 16 years now? Yeah, 16 years. They're having hard times to unwind their swaps. Hence why they're both like 80, 90% underneath their all-time highs. Not 8 or 9%. 80 or 90% underneath their all-time highs. Let me just emphasize the city situation and that, because I find that to be, it always cracks me up. The media people keep on singing the song of how wonderful city is, but they never tell you that the poor thing. Here it is, right here. There you are. Is it thinking? What is it doing? They don't even want to show you long-term charts. We're waiting. Let's see if it updates. All right, let's try it one more time. All right, now let's see if we can do this. 3 month. There's 3 month. There's year to date. Let's take a look at all times. There it is. And let me just show you this. And this always cracks me up. They sing the song. Look at that. There's the all-time high up around $660. And basically it's trading at, what is it trading at there? At $66. So it's like 90% off its all-time highs. I mention this all the time, but you never hear it on the national media. They just, oh my God, that Citi looks like their earnings are really looking great. Oh my God, you should be buying Citi right now. It's my choice for the next 6 months. Let's buy Citi. That's all they say over the time, all the time. Citi, 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 Citi. So, and then when you look at Deutsche Bank, let's see. Deutsche Bank. So you can find that. Let's see. Right there. Let me find the symbol on Deutsche Bank. There we go. There it is. There's a bunch of them out there. Let's see which one this is. There you are. And now you can see that. Now, I don't hear people raving about Deutsche Bank to begin with, but I'm always saying the same thing over and over again. You can see where it was in 2008 and where it is now, just like Citibank, where it was in 2008 and where it is now, and it's obviously down in the basement. And if you're looking to buy a bargain, I guess they've been trying to tell everybody this is a bargain, but they can't get anybody to buy the bank. No one will buy the bank. Yeah. Yep. That's what it comes down to. And that's exactly where we're at now. And that's where we stand. Ta-da! So that's the conversation of okay, here we go. Playing around. Doc, I got to run. Talk tomorrow. Okay. Catch you later. Good. Excellent. All right, catch you later. What else can we say? But I had to do that. I have to show you because I say it all the time, but we rarely ever show it to you on a chart. And so, they keep on trying to sell Deutsche Bank. They keep on trying to find something. They've tried to, was it Commercial Bank of Germany, which is like the second largest bank. I guess really in all actuality it's number one now. But, excuse me. They've tried to find ways to get somebody to take Deutsche Bank off their hands because it's basically owned by the was it the German Republic, the Republic of Germany Central Bank. I think that's how they say it. And so, it's like same thing with the Federal Reserve of the United States. They own a majority of the Citibank to keep it afloat. And, it's just a very tough story in the end result. They basically can say it, wow, it's tripled off its lows. It's gone from $2 and change up to $6 and change. Or they can say it's gone from $22 from $667. Yeah, $667 they have on the chart there. And it traded down to $22. And now it's at $66. So it's triple off the bottom. They never remind you that it's 90% off its all-time highs. Ta-da! All right, that's Doc. We're done. I'm not going to drive you as crazy anymore about that. Let's instead go look at the rest of the currencies. And like I said, there's the great swap that has been closed. They only have maybe 4 or 5 trillion in swap now out there. There's the great experiment. It's trying to get back into the daily buy. It's only minus 0.02 away. It's above the boxes. What they're doing, I don't know. But one day, someone will write a book and explain what was this all about. What was Prime Minister Aragon, now President Aragon, what was his economic policy? What was he thinking when he created super hyperinflation on their own country? With policies that, I guess it's left for the history books. This is how you have an industrialized nation. This is how not to treat it. I think that's where we're at the point, unfortunately. Welcome to its world of insanity. All right. Alrighty, right. Now let's go over to South Africa. We'll take a look. See that? They're still pressing it down. So we would assume, since we see this downwardly momentum now for like 6 days, I would assume, we'd be looking at gold trying to go up in value, and it is on a daily basis, just like it's trying to go down. And then you go over to South Africa. Well, you can see here it's playing with a weekly sell to join in with silver and copper. Now we go over back to, and you can see, this is not fighting into a weekly sell. So it tells us that, look, the product is in a weekly buy now for 3 full weeks, going on a 4th week. And that's not very bullish, really, when it comes to the metals complex. Yeah, that's a big difference in the story. That is the magic of it all. All right. What's Doc going to look at now? We're going to look at the metals complex, because we see South African Rand, which we have up on the screen, is heading down, but still in a weekly buy. So we just showed you gold. Let's show you silver. Oh, Wilbur. There it is right there. And it's on a 3rd day in a daily buy. And you can see the same thing over here on the spreadsheets. Let's show you the spreadsheets. There it is, gold. Gold's 2 days in a daily buy, going on a 3rd. And it's flirting with the weekly buy, which it has been in for 6 weeks. Now, silver, on the other hand, is 4 weeks in a weekly sell, 2 days in a daily buy. And you can see it on the screen here. This is a 3rd day now starting. But the weekly is not turning up like the way gold is turning down. And then we go over to copper. Copper has that 4 week in a weekly sell, but 5 days in a daily sell. I think it's flirting at, last I saw it was flirting with the, where's it at? Right there. It's flirting with a daily buy. Yeah, look at that. But its weekly is not, it's going on a 5th week in a weekly sell. Interesting the way it all plays out. Let me grab a sip of the water. That felt good. Fresh water. Indeed. What else can we say about any of this? This is the copper. Yeah, this is another dead cat bounce. That's what it is, really. It's a dead cat bounce. It's not anything particularly jumping out saying, hey, 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 look at me take off. Yeah, I say this is a dead cat bounce. And since the currency doesn't float, we can't really show you anything that would have any meaning since the currency is locked to the dollar. That's a big thing, you know. I really wish some of these countries would not lock their currency to the dollar. Especially when, you know, they're supposedly major nations. How could China lock its currency to the dollar and at the same time claim it wants to be the world reserve currency when it locks its currency to the dollar? How would it be? How would it be the world reserve currency if it has to keep on following the dollar? You know, it would be basically saying China, the world's leading or world's reserve currency, that's locked to the dollar. That's why the talking heads make no sense. They rave about China all the time. It's like, what? I think that could be that should be a headline. You know that? How would we phrase that? I like that idea. Let's see. I guess we'd have to say China Yuan do I spell that right? China Yuan? Let's see. Let me just double check China Yuan. How they spell it. I think it's with a U in it. So really, we could be really saying in the end result is that the Chinese yuan yeah, yuan versus dollar. Yeah, it's a YUAN. That's what it is. Y. So we'll make it a capital too. YUAN locked to dollar. To be all honest, how can they be the world reserve currency if their currency is locked to the dollar? It still makes the dollar the world reserve currency, right? Just moves the money through the renminbi or the yuan. It's the strangest thing. You know what it is? Why don't the talking heads have anything to say about it on the other financial channels when I do all the time? That's the weird part, you know? It's like, why is Doc like one of the lone voices out here? You know, it seems odd to me. You know, you would think that they'd want to report real information because obviously history will show that they didn't. Do they really want to be on, you know, that list of people that was fake news? I guess that they really, you know, since the parent companies don't make any money on news to begin with, it doesn't matter. You know, they're losing money on the news. So, all right, yeah. So it's 0.14 the Chinese yuan to the dollar. Let me see if I can put that up on the screen. China yuan to the dollar. It is right there. So you can see that on the screen. Here we go. Right there. And there's the China yuan. And what is it? It's locked to the dollar. So if they became the world reserve currency, the dollar would still be the world reserve currency in a sense, value-wise. Funny stuff. Funny stuff. You know, we talk about real stuff here. It really makes it complicated, doesn't it? There we go. Wow, they got Vance up on the tape. He's really ripping into them beautifully. How about that? That's fascinating. He's going to be the next vice president. How about that? That was really wild. But anyway, that's where we stand. And that's the way we're leaving it, too, in many ways. Oh, let's go check out some crude oil. Also, here's the platinum. There's the platinum right there. Trying to lift up more. It's 2 days in a buy, but the weekly's still having its weak stuff. There we go. There's the heating oil. Heating oil is trying to lift up. We can get rid of that now. They've moved out of. It's kind of like mixed. It's above again. And they're starting to lift, and it's trying to. The weekly, you can see that the weekly's trying to get going. The slow is starting to pierce the. What do you call that? The manifold there. And then when we go to crude oil's acting very strong. It's been in that buy since right here, in the mid 75 area. And then, now we are at almost 78. I think today's high is 78.03 to be exact. And you can see the box here. The week. Oh, you can't see any of this. Let's just show you that. I got to go back because you can't see that. So there's the oil. They're trying to get it back into the weekly buy, which would mean Brent is doing the same thing. And then there's heating oil. It's trying to lift and trying to push up. And then I mentioned the platinum right there. There's the platinum trying to, get the weekly is turning. That's about all you can say about that. And then we'll go look at nat gas and we'll get out of here. There it is. There you are. You can see that natural gas getting close. Maybe it's seasonal at this point. They're starting to think, usually at the end of the month, of middle of the summer or end of the summer, they start to buy natural gas and stuff like that. So I guess maybe that's what they're doing. They're starting to hedge themselves. Let's go take a quick look of the futures contracts in that. Let's see. Let's see, where am I headed? Oh, yeah, I know where I'm going. Right here. We're going to put this up on the screen. Let's take a look at the contango of the futures of these things. There we are. And there's a contango. You see, September's at 215. They've got November's at 27, almost 280, and December's at 335. Over $1 higher. January at 360, and then February it starts to trail off 350 basically, 348.6, and then March is at 311, almost 312, and then it drops back underneath the threes. What's interesting is that the summer months are not reflecting weakness right now at all. Look at that. July is at 332 next year. So that is the action we're seeing in the natural gas. It's starting to lift up. It's doing that seasonal thing. All right, traders, we're out of here. We sent over the title, and the title is Chinese Yuan Locked to Dollar. And we'll maybe tomorrow we'll change the title to something like Locked Dollar, or how like China World Reserve Currency, how, or something like that. That's what I'm thinking. How to put the two together. How do you actually talk about the Chinese yuan as a world reserve currency when it's locked to the dollar? All right. That should be the title, really, I guess. Anyway, it's too long, but oh well. Happy trails to you until we meet again tomorrow. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. Also, there's a good chance that I am going to be at camp on Wednesday and Thursday and Friday. And, oh, thank you very much for saying goodbye. And we'll probably do these things as videos instead. So, all right. See you tomorrow live. This is Doc saying over and out. Drop the mic.